how to plan a photo of the total lunar eclipse that's happening on March 14th, 2025. Hello Photopiller, Rafael the Bar here. Great news, in a few days on March 14th there'll be a stunning total lunar eclipse. So jot down the date because you can miss it. The Earth will move between the Sun and the Moon, covering the Sun's rays and casting its strong shadow, also called umbra, over the full Moon, giving the Moon the characteristic red color. Pretty cool. Long story short, if you wish to photograph the total lunar eclipse, you need to figure out where to go and when to photograph it. You need a plan. Okay, let's start planning. Go to PhotoPills, tap on Planner, and now the first thing I need to do here is to switch off the eclipse layer, the total solar eclipse, the total lunar eclipse layer that's happening on March 14th. To do it, tap on the Map Settings button here and tap on the eclipse layer, and now from the eclipse calendar choose the one that's happening on March 14th, 2025. It's a total lunar eclipse, and go back to the map. Before I go back to the map, I'll switch off the sun layer because I don't need the sun info to plan the shot. So go back to the map, and now if I zoom out, I'll see on the map where the eclipse is visible and not visible. In Europe, as you see, and in Africa, the eclipse will be visible at moonset, when the moon is low in the sky, when the eclipse occurs low in the sky. Pretty cool. In the US and the Americas, the eclipse will occur when the moon is higher in the sky. And in New Zealand, Australia and Oceania, the eclipse will occur at moonrise. So here on the map you can easily see where the eclipse will be visible, so you can place the red pin on the spot you wish to photograph it. For example, let's place the red pin here in New York and see what happens. Let's place it somewhere here in the Battery, for example. Pretty cool. Okay, now swipe the top panel to the left until you get to the eclipse panel, this one, and here the eclipse is telling me what time each phase of the eclipse will occur. Notice that on the time bar, the date on the time bar has been set to March 14th, 2025. And on the top panel I have the times each phase of the eclipse occurs. Also, if I change the time using the time bar, you see that the top panel has a picture that is telling me at all time how the eclipse evolves. So when there is no eclipse, when the penumbral begins, when the total lunar eclipse begins, and when it ends, and when the penumbral eclipse ends, and when the eclipse ends. Pretty cool. Also, you can do a long press on the time you want on the top panel to set it on the time bar. For example, now I just set it at 2:59 a.m. when the eclipse is maximum. So I perfectly know when the eclipse occurs. And also on the map I have the position of the moon, which is where the eclipse will occur, which is this thin line that's moving, this thin blue line that's moving when I'm changing the time. And if you are at the red pin position, you can always use the AR button to visualize where the eclipse will occur in the sky. You have the horizon here, and you have the position of the moon and where the moon will be during the eclipse. Pretty cool. So to plan a shot, for example, here in New York, it's pretty easy. The eclipse occurs pretty high in the sky. You need to find the coolest spot where there are no buildings that can hide the moon, the eclipse in this case, and just be on time for the penumbral eclipse begins at 11:58 p.m. And the total lunar eclipse will begin at 2:26 a.m. The eclipse will be maximum at 2:59 a.m. and the total lunar eclipse will end at 3:32 a.m. That's great and super simple, but because I'm in Spain and I know that in Menorca the eclipse will be visible at moonset, I want to plan an alignment of the eclipse, some interesting subject. So based on the moonset direction, quickly one interesting subject comes to my mind, which is the Artruch lighthouse, which is this lighthouse over here. And what I'll do, just to make sure that I know where this subject is at all time, I'll swipe the top panel to panel number 2, the black pin panel, and I'll tap on the icon on the panel and I'll drag the black pin right where I want, for example, the eclipse to be, or where my subject is in this case, so I know where the subject is at all time when I zoom out. Pretty cool. And now I need to find the shooting spot, for example over here, that when the moon sets, eclipse, it sets next to my subject. So basically I need to go super far away. I need to go here, the further away I can, to get the eclipse as close as possible to my lighthouse. So when the eclipse is aligned with the lighthouse, I have on the top panel, the moon height is 62.2 meters, which is pretty high. The lighthouse height is 34 meters. So in this case, I have the lighthouse and the moon at almost double the size of the lighthouse. And the moon size is, the eclipse size will be 11.2 meters, which is pretty big. And also I have the pretty large. I have also the size of the eclipse on the map. So as you see, the moon will be pretty large compared to my lighthouse, which is super nice. If I want the eclipse to be lower, I need to get it, for example, to 34. And in this case, I will photograph the eclipse next to the lighthouse, which is also a cool composition, because I cannot go into the water to shoot it. So that's my maximum. The more to the south I can go to get the alignment. Awesome. And let me check the phase of the eclipse at the time of the shooting. See, it's a partial eclipse. The moon is partial eclipse. When the moon is completely eclipsed, let me swipe the time. The moon is already set. So in Menorca, I'll be able to photograph the partial eclipse when it's setting, which is cool. So this is my plan. If on March 14th, 2025 at 6:48 a.m. I'll be able to photograph the partial eclipse moon from the red pin position, and the moon will be next to my subject. It's gonna be a beautiful partial eclipse, full moon. Nice. What focal length should I use? Well, to plan the focal length and the depth of field, tap on the map settings button and activate on the map tools, tap on DOF, which is the depth of field tool, but it also allows me to plan the field of view. So I'll go back to the map, and now all I have to do is to set my camera. I'm gonna set the Nikon Z6. The focal length, I'm gonna start with 300 millimeters. Perfect. The aperture, let's set to f8. Great. I'm gonna be focusing on the black pin, because I'm gonna be focusing on my subject. Very cool. I'm gonna shooting maybe in portrait, and I'm going to shoot aligned with the black pin. Awesome. So now, thanks to the representation of the field of view on the map, I can see what's inside the frame and what's outside the frame. I can even go closer. If I use a 400mm lens, I get a much closer look of the subject and the moon, the eclipsed moon. Very cool. Awesome. What about the focusing? If I focus on my subject, will the moon be also acceptably sharp? Well, it will be actually, because I'm focusing at 1.29 kilometers, which is the subject distance, and the hyperfocal distance, you have it on the map, 668 meters. This is the tree icon, 668.80 meters. This is the hyperfocal distance, and as you know, if you're focusing at something that's behind the hyperfocal distance, infinity will be acceptably sharp too. So I'll have my subject, my lighthouse, super tack sharp because I'm focusing on my subject, and the moon will be acceptably sharp. The eclipse will be acceptably sharp too. So I have my plan. All I have to do now is to pray to have clear skies, of course. Well, this video is all about planning the coming total lunar eclipse. If you wish to learn how to photograph it, I invite you to download and study really well our super detailed lunar eclipse photography guide, and I'll leave a link to the guide in the description of this video and in the first comment below. Download it. And as always, if you like this video, give me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next Wednesday in another video. And remember that you have the power to imagine, planning, shoot legendary photos. Bye!